Thank you, and welcome friends to episode 5 of Hobson's Choice. I'm Michael G. Hobson, and in this episode, the G stands for Gambit. Since the US election, we have been inundated with stories, with information, with facts, with speculation, and with participant quotes regarding the Russia-Trump investigation. Deluged, you might say. Now, events, man-made and environmental, continue to occur to cause deaths and to damage property. But the story that has captivated most people in this part of the world is simply a game of did he or didn't he? Did the Mad Hatter win the election with Russia's assistance? And if so, how much assistance was offered and given by Russia? And at what cost? The Mad Hatter claims to be the world's greatest deal maker. Well, what kind of a deal could he cut with Russia? What would Russia desire? Would sowing nationwide discord among Americans be enough for Russia? After all, Putin loves to incite discord in democratic nations. Loves it. Helped Assad push 6 million Syrian refugees into democratic nations and watched the discord it caused. It's probably the last thought he has before sleep. How will I sow discord in democratic nations tomorrow? Or maybe it was about Putin's deep-seated hatred for Hillary Clinton, that the destruction of Hillary Clinton was the meat and anything more was gravy. For Putin to think America would be stupid enough to elect Mad Hatter, well, that was fantasy. The endgame had to be about discrediting Hillary, not only among Americans, but among the leaders of other nations. So what was the gambit? Surely the Mad Hatter must have realized that if he fell into bed with an acknowledged adversary and was caught, it could ruin his name forever. And this for a man who stamps his name on everything he owns, including his kids. Come on, Eric, you know the stamp loses its definition if it isn't updated every year. Now, stop being a baby. Why can't you be more like Ivanka? She rolled up her sleeve and took the stamp like a man. But this is how the history books would show him, if he was caught. For a man who has a deep, well-known need for affirmation, it is hard to fathom how the ends would justify the means. Then again, what if the Mad Hatter does not possess the ability of foresight, that his vision is limited, that he can only see what's in front of him, that maybe winning the election was as far as he could see? After all, the Mad Hatter likes to win. His main character trait is a deeply ingrained arrogance, that he is better than everyone else. An offshoot of that trait is that he likes to win. At everything. Elections, arguments, Twitter fights, doesn't matter. And he hates to lose. But the unthinkable happened. He didn't lose. Russia hit the jackpot. Not only had Russia avoided an impending conflict with the Clinton-led US, they now have an ally, a friend, a useful tool to cause damage to not only America, but to democracies around the world. The meetings, the social media ads, the computer hacking, the deal with fellow Clinton hater Julian Assange and WikiLeaks, the manpower needed, the money spent, and he won. The Mad Hatter won. Who says fantasies don't come true? Authoritarian nations like Syria and North Korea are much easier to deal with for Putin. As the preeminent authoritarian figure on the world stage, he understands them, uses them, and that authoritarian club is the one the Mad Hatter sorely seeks inclusion and seclusion inside. And so the US and the civilized world now has a man in power who stopped growing emotionally the same day he stopped growing physically. I figure around 17. Today, the Russians laugh and boast about how they won the US election. Meanwhile, the Mad Hatter, like a hurricane, tries to destroy anything in his path. In an editorial, a German newspaper wrote that Putin is laughing at the political chaos in Washington. But the damage to democratic institutions and the trivialization of the presidential office is not a laughing matter at all. The Russians are laughing. They can't help themselves. They're even boasting, in public, about how they won the US election. It seems to be a regular thing these days, a video of a Russian official commenting or laughing about their victory. It's as if the Russians drove the presidential carriage through Washington, stopped at the White House, and helped the Mad Hatter inside, and then left him there to blow everything up. I don't have any solutions or any ideas, he could say. I just have criticisms. I'm what they call a Monday morning quarterback. If the Bob Mueller probe is able to show that the Mad Hatter did indeed coordinate with the Russians and has enough evidence to prove to and convince congressional Republicans, then it's all over for the Mad Hatter. I am reminded of the famous line from Barry Goldwater, then the elder statesman of the Republican Party and an avowed conservative, in a meeting with Richard Nixon in the final days of Watergate, when he answered Nixon's wearisome query of whether the president had enough votes of support with "not enough" and "not mine." Do modern-day Republicans have the same moxie, knowing how poorly the Mad Hatter receives news? Do Senate Majority Leader Turtle and Speaker of the House Crustacean have the same moxie? Do they want to be called an idiot in front of everyone? When the time comes, and it will, we will see. Till next time, my friends, be well.